Hey YouTube, it's Earl. It's time for another First Impressions video, and tonight it is Peterson's My Mixture 965. Let's get to it. Alright, so it is a first impression video of Peterson 965. I've got to be honest, it's not truly a first impressions video. When I began pipe smoking, one of the first groups of English blends that I tried were Dunhill Nightcap and Dunhill 965, which this Peterson 965 is a recreation of that original Dunhill blend. At the time, I did not care for 965. I liked Nightcap, was fine, but you know, I smoked probably half a tin of Nightcap. I found Frogmorton and I was on board, and I really never, I think I still have the 4 or 5 year old Nightcap in a jar, and I still have some 965 from 3 years ago in a jar. But my whole purpose of doing these first impressions and these reviews is so that if you are looking to buy something new as a pipe smoker, you've got some idea to go off of, something that you might be able to expect from that. So with that, that's kind of the story of 965. Now, if you're wondering, hey, what kind of tobacco is this? It is an English blend. But let me read a little bit more for you. On the tin description, it says balanced smoking tobacco with a cool flavor, brown Cavendish, accompanied by light Orient tobaccos and small Latakia leaves, English mixture. Now, I would assume that there are some Virginias in here, but one of the things I think that this is known for is its brown Cavendish. And you might ask, what is brown Cavendish? And to tell you the truth, I'm not entirely certain what brown Cavendish is. I believe it is tobacco that's been Cavendished, as far as meaning heat and pressure. That's what you do. You take like a Virginia, or you could take a Burley tobacco, you put it under heat, pressure, and steam it, and it will Cavendish. You can also add other sugars to it, I believe, and that will blacken it and make it black Cavendish. Or maybe it's just brown Cavendish isn't taken quite as far in the heating process. Either way, it's a kind of a lighter version of Cavendish, and from what I understand, Cavendish tobacco, brown Cavendish tobacco, is more prominent in actual blends from England than here in the United States. We like our black Cavendish. So, but it is what you would call a mild English, maybe even a crossover blend, a sweet English blend. I would put it in the sweet category, like with the Frogmortons, but that's there, and we'll get into this as we go. So let me pop the tin open. There we go. Okay, I've got the tin cracked, and let's see here. Beautiful presentation, always. This Dunhill, or old school Dunhill, now Peterson. Okay. And what can I say? The first thing I get, it very much reminds me of what I first smelled when I opened Nightcap all those 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm like, that kind of smells like motor oil. It's very there's something unique here. Okay, I get, what is it? It's very mild. I get like a woodsy barbecue-y flavor. This may be a little bit different than what I would consider traditional Latakia flavor. Almost something that I smell in a lot of dark-fired blends. But the Latakia is definitely there. And maybe that's just some of those Orientals there. But the Latakia is not heavy. So if you look, as you can see, and it's packed in there nice, right? So, but that's what you got. So you got a little bit of brown Cavendish, you got Latakia. Although there is a good bit of Latakia in here. I don't really know what brown Cavendish looks like other than it's just kind of darker, a darker leaf. We've got some Orientals, and again, I would assume that some of this is bright leaf Virginia, but I don't know that, and I haven't looked up a description online to see if in fact it does have Virginia tobaccos, but I would assume that it does. So let me kind of prepare a bowl here. Maybe a tad bit damp, but I'm gonna give it a go and light it anyway. But let me prepare a bowl and we'll get started. Okay guys, I've got a bowl packed, and tonight we'll do a little bit of housekeeping before we move on. I'm smoking that in a Radice Hawkbill. Look at that grain, that sandblasted grain. I absolutely love this pipe. Beautiful, beautiful little Radice pipe. Moisture content, maybe a little damp, but near perfect. Ribbon cut, beautiful ribbon, just easy to load. So let's see if we can get this lit. Got a brand new Peterson lighter. Got that a few weeks back. Makes lighting so much easier. Took the flame easy. And very much has that STG Dunhill flavor. I'm also drinking a little scotch tonight, some monkey shoulder. Very good. Okay. All right, my false light is done. The sweetness is there. I don't know. I mean, it's good. I like it. There is a good bit of sweetness here. Not a ton. It's not overly sweet, but there's a good little kick here. I find that that sweetness is really complementing the Latakia well. And what I mean by that is the Latakia is there, but I don't feel like the Latakia is overpowering it. So maybe it's, I feel like the Latakia is complementing that sweetness well, because that's, the Latakia is there, but it's, I don't know, it's just that and the sweetness are playing well together. Now I will say, I have over the past few years from time to time taken 965 out and tried it out and see if my opinion has changed. This is what I have in storage from 3 years ago. And the answer has always been no. But so far this bowl may be convincing me to think otherwise. So there is a faint spiciness. That's probably the Orientals. Okay, guys, I'm, probably a third of my way through this bowl. I like this. This is good. It's strange, I wasn't expecting that. The older version of it, what I remember is not sweetness, but that the Orientals, that they provided more of a, they were too heavy of a sour note for me, and I didn't like it. At least that's what I remember. Some of that could be expectations too. Back then, if I read any descriptions, I may have anticipated something that was much more akin to an American style Cavendish mixture. So I don't know what accounts for my change. Because as I said, I've tried that tin several times, most recently a couple months ago. Let me keep smoking and see if I come up with anything else. Well, gang, here's what I can say is that there's a nice base tobacco flavor. I assume that's Virginia's. Here. There's a lovely sweetness, a tiny bit of what I think is spice. Tiny. And all of that blends really well with kind of that smoky, woodsy flavor you get from the Latakia. And so, even though I'm giving you all those components, it really presents, I think, in a pretty homogenized whole of a slightly sweet English mixture. And it works. There's a reason this one's a classic. Well, guys, it's been Earl. It's my first impressions of Peterson's 965. Y'all have a good night.